Hello YouTube, hello, and we're back. Of course we are. And today we're going to talk about fuzzies, fuzzy ducks specifically, and what they are, how to use them, and I'm gonna actually demonstrate and show you guys actual examples for 3 characters. These ducks and these fuzzies can be used against almost every character in my opinion. Not too sure if actually against every character, but yeah. Let's start. So first demonstration. Actually, before the demonstrations, I'm going to explain what a fuzzy duck is. So what is a fuzzy duck? A fuzzy duck basically is a decision that you make actively as a player to duck for a very small period of time. For a few frames, basically. So you duck a little bit and then stand up. Just a little bit you duck and then stand up after a particular situation. Example, you block something. Let's say you just block a jab or a forward 4 and then you duck a little bit and then stand up. You just do it as a decision. You don't react to anything, you just do it. Duck a little bit and then stand up. And the duck usually is 2 to 3 frames long and then you stand up. Usually, right? If you're very precise, you can do a 1 frame duck or a 2 frame duck. But I think 3 frames is like the norm of it, more or less. But yeah, that is the explanation of a fuzzy duck, but let me actually demonstrate it via characters. First character I want to demonstrate this with is gonna be Kaz. So Kazuya has this string with the down forward 1-2, right? Which is a bit high. And the other string, which is kind of a mix-up, is down forward 1, down forward 2. So this and that, these two right here, some people might consider this as a little bit of a mix-up. And it kind of is, unless you learn how to fuzzy this. And this is a good example of why fuzzies can be very useful, because the high and the mid isn't really a mix-up if you fuzzy correctly. If you look at the frames, the mid there was 22, but if you look at the high, let me just wait for the high. Please do the high. There we go. It is 18. So there's a 4 frame difference here. So as I said, usually the duck lasts for 3 frames or 4 frames. So if you do it correctly, like a 3 frame duck into a stand-up, you'll actually avoid the high and the mid. So let me just demonstrate this. Like, you just do this, and that's the little bit of fuzzy that you do, right? And if I do this fuzzy correctly, I will avoid the mid as well. Obviously, it's not too easy to do, and it's obviously hard to do when you're talking like I am. But as you can see, I can do it, right? It is a thing that you can do. I'm ducking the high while also avoiding the mid. And obviously what you have to do here is whenever you do duck the high, let's say you do duck the high, you have to react to the duck and then punish it with any sort of way. Easy punish is something like this, or depending on your character, you can punish any sort of way. But yeah, this is like an example of a fuzzy duck. Another example I'll give, which is gonna be, again, Gaz, is let's say you get hit by a heat engage or something like this, and they go for an FF3. Instant FF3 is a mid mix-up, and they mix it up with, let's say, an instant hell sweep. They do this, and instantly do a hell sweep. This is also, if you pay attention, a hell sweep is 16 frames fast, and FF3 is 20 frames fast. That's a 4 frame difference again. So it is possible to fuzzy this, even if you, let's say, not react to FF3. So what you do here is duck a little bit, and then stand up. As you guys just saw, I just blocked FF3, but I'm also blocking a hell sweep. I'm not reacting to anything, I am just ducking and then standing up. This is what you would call a fuzzy duck. A decision to duck for a little amount of time, a few frames, and then stand up, because you know the mix-up has a frame difference. Let's say a 4 frame difference, or higher. So this is another example of a fuzzy duck and why it can be useful in a lot of situations. By the way, this is also one of the reasons I don't like doing instant hell sweeps as a Kazuya player. I almost always delay my hell sweep whenever I do a heat engage. Almost always, right? Because it's unfuzzyable because of that. So, yeah. So this amazing example. But this is just one character, which is against Kaz. Let me just give you guys another example. Let's talk about Claudio now. So Claudio, you can also use fuzzy ducks against this character, but you guys have to remember that fuzzies aren't unbeatable. Right? It's just a decision for you to duck a certain way. Obviously, they are beatable. But for now, let me just demonstrate another situation where fuzzies can be useful. Let's say you block a Claudio while running to this. Not that. Definitely not that. But yeah, let's say you block a while running too, which will happen a lot of times against Claudio, and they do an instant down back forward mix-up. This will happen a lot as well. That, right? So you have to duck it. There is a duck here. And let's say they will mix that up with, this is a 14, 15 frame low. Let's say they'll mix that up with a back one, which is an 18 frame mid, which is a 3 frame difference here, right? So it is not as big of a difference, but even something like this is possible to fuzzy. As I said, the fuzzy usually lasts up to 3 frames, sometimes 4 frames. You can do it faster as well. So if you do it correctly, I will be able to block both a back one and a down back one for here, right? As you guys can see, this is another example of a fuzzy. I messed that up there. It's not easy to do, obviously, but you kind of have to understand the timing, and it requires a lot of good character knowledge. But the moment you do something like this, you will avoid both the mid and the low. So this is why it's so important. And as I said, obviously when you do block the low, mess that up there, you have to know that, oh, there is a low incoming, and I have to react to it. What I usually do whenever I do block the low is I just electric. I react in the electric. You can also do some other punishment, whatever you want. If you have a hop kick, it can be good. If you want some other punishment, you can do that as well. Whatever, right? Whatever you want. This is just another example of a fuzzy and how useful it can be in certain specific situations if you expect certain mix-ups. But as I already said, it is something that is beatable. For example, a Claudio player might decide to not do a back one as a mid mix-up, and let's say they decide to do a down forward one, down forward 3 as a mix-up. The moment they do this, the fuzzy is not a thing. I am blocking with a fuzzy here, right? But I'm gonna get hit because the frames are way too close to each other. If you guys notice, that mid is 14 frames fast, where the low, as I already said, is 15 frames fast. So it's just a 1 frame difference. Unless you do a 1 frame fuzzy, which is basically impossible if you ask me. It's not possible. Just, you're not gonna do it. Maybe if you get lucky, right? If you get lucky, you can do it. But a 1 frame fuzzy is just not realistic. A fuzzy for 2 frames, maybe. 3 frames, maybe, as well. 3 frames is more doable. So, yeah, if you want the realistic fuzzies, it's either 3 or 4 frames. But you can also do 2 sometimes, right? It can work. But a single frame fuzzy, not happening. It is not gonna happen, let me tell you that. And also, delaying timing is very, very common when it comes to high level of play. That's why people delay their timing, so fuzzies don't work anymore. So yeah, this is another example. This was Claudio. Now we'll give you guys another example because I'm just that guy. I'm gonna give you guys all of the examples. Let's talk about Fahkumram, which is lately a pretty popular character, right? So against Fahkumram, fuzzies are also very, very good, and you will see a lot of pro players do this as well. For example, against the down forward 1 string. So down forward 1 is a very strong tool on Fahkumram. It's very, very strong because it tracks really well, and it has a heat engager with down forward 1-4, has a lot of cancels, it has a charge up. It's very, very good. Down forward 1 is just a super strong move, and you kind of have to know how to deal with it. Now, the example of a fuzzy I was talking about, because we were talking about fuzzies, is gonna be down forward 1-4. Down forward 1-4 is a mid down forward 1 into a high, right? 25 frame high. And this high can be fuzzy. It can't be reacted to that easily because the animation isn't really, it's not something you can react to, even though it's slow, right? It's 25 frames. But what you can do, as I already explained, is fuzzy it. How the fuzzy is gonna work here is after you block down forward 1, you just duck it a little bit, like that, and then stand up, right? As you see, I'm just ducking for a split second. For just a split second, I'm ducking. The moment I react that the high actually happened, I will punish it. So this is also what's important with fuzzy. I already explained it, that you have to kind of react to whenever your fuzzy works. For example, if they do down forward to cancel, something like that, which is a pretty quick cancel, right? You have to react that the high didn't happen. If it happened, you punish it. But if it didn't happen, you don't punish it. That is the basis of a fuzzy. So you fuzzy here a little bit, and then you punish it. But if it doesn't work, you don't punish it. It's really, really that simple. As you guys can see, I'm just not getting hit by the mid. The mid is slightly slower. It is slightly slower. That's just how you do it. The practice here is you have to understand the timing of this fuzzy, right? Kind of have to understand it. And the next practice, what you have to do is you have to get used to punishing it. Like, punishing it is a whole different ordeal. Like, I messed that up there. There we go. So you have to know how to punish it and how much recovery they have. For example, Fahkumram recovers very fast after down forward 1-4. So if I want to, let's say, electric here after I duck this, it won't really work. Like, it's very, very hard to do something like an electric. Like, right now, I'm just trying to demonstrate. There we go. I just want to demonstrate that. That was not a punish. So it's pretty damn difficult to do this kind of stuff. But there are other things as well. Like for example, in Fahkumram string, another one is a 3-1. What I like to do against 3-1 as a strat, kinda like a strategy, is I duck 3-1 whenever I know what I'm doing anyway. Sometimes I just turn my brain off and play, but it's just how it is. Now, 3-1, right? 3-1 is a high that you kinda wanna duck. You kinda wanna duck this, right? So what I do is there is a fuzzy here, but it's not just a normal fuzzy. For me, anyway, what I do is instead, let's say they cancel this. Instead, I duck and then mash. I fuzzy into a mash. The mash is basically automatic for me. Because the moment I duck, this will happen. But if they don't finish it, let's say they don't finish it, right? I just mash. So I don't even let them do the mid. Sometimes I have these kind of strategies as well, and you guys might think of something like this as well, the insta button. Like you just duck into an insta button. This can be pretty common as well, a lot of players might use this. But it's gonna be safer, obviously, if you just duck. Right? And just duck and not press. But the problem here with doing that, why I am pressing personally anyway, is because the 1 isn't something you can react to. If you duck the 1, you can't really react to it. Not to mention there's another mid, which is a string going on there, right? 3-1, 3-1-4, or 3-1 down 4. So it's gonna be very hard to react to that high jab. That's why I just press and pray they don't do the option that beats that. Because he has options to beat that. Which, in my opinion, is the best string extension he has from both down forward 1 and 3. Just 3-4-4, this one, and down forward 1, 4-4. Because they're plus. So if I do my fuzzy tech, let's say I do the tech here, I duck into a mash, I will get hit. Because this is a delayed high. And this will counter hit you into a guaranteed FF1+2 if I remember correctly. So, yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today's vid. I just wanted to explain how fuzzy ducks worked and then show you guys example of this, like an actual example against some characters, against some characters. So I said Claudio, I told you guys about Claudio, Kaz, and Fahkumram, but you can use this against realistically almost every character depending on the situation. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to YouTube, hopefully, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Till then.